Okay, I'm doing another movie breakdown, but this one is for a very specific audience. Parents. Your kid is telling you how good this movie is, they really want you to watch it, and you just don't get it. Well, I'm here to help bridge the gap. And this time we're talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once. This movie came out 3 years ago, so why now? Well, parents seem to have a particularly tough time with this movie, but also I think the themes are always relevant. Let's start by getting some logistics out of the way. This movie deals with the concept of the multiverse, which I know can feel like a lot, but I promise it's not. You remember Groundhog Day, right? Yeah, Bill Murray gets stuck in a time loop. He's living the same day over and over again. The movie uses the time loop to examine certain themes. Like, what would you do if your actions didn't have any consequences? Is every single day of our lives an important one? Etc. Back to Everything Everywhere, the multiverse is just like Groundhog Day's time loop. It's just a plot tool that's going to help bring our themes into focus. We all make decisions every single day, small ones and big ones. Well, the multiverse theory says that every time we make a decision, there's an alternate timeline or reality where we made a different choice. We've all wondered what our life would be like if we made different decisions. Sometimes we're filled with regret, other times maybe we're grateful that we avoided disaster, but we've all thought about it. So if a story allows its characters to access these alternate realities, they can do what we all wish we could and see exactly what would have happened if they made different decisions. They can answer questions like, would I be a different person? Would I have a different career? Would I have achieved all my hopes and dreams? A very early version of this kind of story might be It's a Wonderful Life, where George Bailey is allowed to see an alternate reality, one in which he does not exist, so he can see the impact of his life. Now, if we take that multiverse concept one step further and acknowledge that everybody in the world is making decisions all day, every day, then the number of alternate realities is infinite, and by extension, anything is possible. If you can imagine a reality, no matter how strange, the multiverse theory says that it exists somewhere. And I think this might have been where the movie lost some of you. Maybe you saw something like the hot dog fingers and just felt it was too weird. The reason a lot of people find this funny is because it's the silliest interpretation of the multiverse. If in our reality, Homo sapiens became the dominant species because they evolved from apes with opposable thumbs, then there's some reality where a mutated human ancestor had fingers that looked more like hot dogs and they became the dominant species. It's also funny because it's a direct reference to the classic movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, but I digress. Look, if you don't find it funny, that's okay, because even though it's definitely meant to be silly, this and the other weird realities you see in the movie directly contribute to the point the movie is trying to make. And what is that point, you ask? Everything Everywhere All at Once is about the daily battle each of us faces between hope and nihilism. At least that's my interpretation. The movie has lots of interesting themes, but we're gonna focus on this. And just so we're all on the same page here, when I say hope, I mean the deliberate choice to believe that things matter, that life has a point. And nihilism would naturally be the opposite, the belief that life has no purpose or meaning or value. And this story looks at how we all handle that battle differently, especially in the context of generational family relationships. Now, I don't know how old you are, but if you're in the parent side of this discussion, it's probably safe to say that you didn't grow up with the internet, at least in the way we have it now, where it's readily accessible on devices in the palm of our hand. But your kids probably have. They've grown up in a reality where there's an instant and immediate way to consume anything and everything all the time. And this idea is very much represented in the character of Joy, the daughter. As a brief reminder on plot, Evelyn, the mother, is brought into the multiverse because a version of her daughter, Joy, from an alternate reality, is threatening to destroy the multiverse. We eventually learn that this is because that alternate daughter was exposed to so much of the multiverse that all those alternate realities became jumbled in her brain, and she was essentially experiencing everything, everywhere, all at once. And if your head is starting to spin a little bit, don't worry, we don't need to concern ourselves with the logistics for now. We're trying to see what the movie's really getting at. Growing up in the world she was given feels like she's experiencing everything, everywhere, all at once, and it's overwhelming. To go back to the idea of the internet, I think we can see how that idea would apply to us now, but especially for younger people. So what happened to Joy as she was trying to handle all that rapid intake of information? Well, do we remember the bagel? Again, the filmmakers approach the idea in what at first seems like a silly way. We all know about everything bagels, it's just a bagel with a ton of ingredients on it. But Joy asks, what would happen if she actually put everything on a bagel? Like literally everything in her human experience. Well, when she does that, the bagel becomes a black hole. In the greater analogy, maybe the bagel here represents the feeling people have when they're trying to comprehend all the contradictions and complexities of the world around them. And it feels like they're looking at a black hole, devoid of light, reason, and hope, just nothingness.
If nothing matters, then all the pain and guilt you feel for making nothing of your life goes away.
Humans have always had to deal with questions about life. Where are we going when we die? Is morality universal? What's the point of it all? But only in recent times have we had to ask those questions while there's also a constant stream of opinions that claim to be authoritative on every topic imaginable, constantly coming from the device in our hands directly into our brains. The stress of it all makes Joy embrace the idea that nothing matters because it's the only way she can find any relief. Nihilism to her is the only escape. So the bagel becomes a symbol for that. All that said, the story, interestingly enough, is not told from Joy's perspective. This is primarily Evelyn's story, the mother. Of course, when Evelyn first learns about Joy's new philosophy, she's shocked and appalled.
No, Joy. You don't believe that?
Feels nice, doesn't it?
How could Joy believe that life doesn't matter? Evelyn tries to convince her otherwise and blames Joy's new perspective on all kinds of things, but never really listens to her daughter. Meanwhile, Evelyn is dealing with more mundane but still threatening issues of her own daily life. Her and her husband are going through an IRS audit and might lose the laundromat that they own. She's now having to care for her elderly father, who she has a strained relationship with, and she doesn't feel supported by her husband, who she perceives as naive and childlike. Under the weight of all this, Evelyn starts to see the appeal of Joy's new philosophy and embraces it. Nothing matters. Evelyn then applies this perspective in all of the realities we've been introduced to, silly or not. We start to see that even in the goofy universes, like one where a raccoon is helping a man become a chef, Evelyn's cruelty takes the happiness out of that world. It's at this point Joy reveals she never actually wanted to destroy the multiverse. In fact, she's disappointed she convinced Evelyn that nothing really matters.
You know why I actually built the bagel? It wasn't to destroy everything. It was to destroy myself.
Joy's goal is actually self-destruction. I think we can pick up on the analogy here. It seems like there's really nothing Evelyn can do to save Joy until she realizes that there might be an answer that's been staring her in the face the whole time. Her husband and Joy's father, Waymond, who's been characterized as naive and silly this whole time, is miraculously fixing things. How is he, this man in a fanny pack who puts googly eyes on everything and dances with their customers and brings their IRS agent cookies, how is a man like that fixing anything? It's through Waymond that we are introduced to another philosophy.
我总是看到事情好的一面，那不是因为我天真，而是必要，而需要。这也就是我的生存之道。The only thing I do know is that we have to be kind. 一个服输的人，我又何尝不是？只是我们选择的处理方式不一样。
Waymond has been striving to improve every situation he's been in with sheer kindness and empathy. All his simpleness, his lack of aggression, vindictiveness, anger, his kindness, Evelyn realizes it's all been a strength. And her life, even with all its unrealized and unachieved dreams, is so far from nothing. Because even in a reality where Evelyn and Waymond never married, and as a result, achieved all the worldly success possible, Waymond still finds Evelyn and tells her,
如果有来生，我还是会选择和你一起报税，开始一点。
So Evelyn chooses to embrace hope, and with it, she decides to fight like Waymond does. She's then able to start giving kindness back into the world and start undoing some of the damage she did when she was acting with cruelty.
Not unlovable.
You're not unlovable! What are you talking about?
There is always something to love. Even in a stupid universe where we have hot dogs for fingers.
To bring it full circle, Evelyn now wants to fully embrace and love her daughter Joy for who Joy is. But to do that, Evelyn must first confront some of the reasons that she doesn't love herself. Her own father cut her off when she chose to marry Waymond against his wishes.
你唔中意，唔接受，都唔緊要，因為呢個就係我，都唔希望佢會刺到我。But she turned out to be stubborn, aimless, a mess, just like a mother.
But even after all that, after all of Evelyn's hard work, Joy still doesn't accept Evelyn's love. Seems kind of rude, right? But this is the whole point. She refuses to do what her own father did to her. She refuses to let her relationship with her daughter wither and die. She refuses to stop loving Joy. And it's not a self-righteous love. It's not a conditional love hoping Joy will change. It's loving Joy as she is now. And because of this, the whole family clings to Joy while she's at the brink of self-destruction. The point is choosing unconditional love and hope, and that's very hard to do.
No matter what, I still want to be here with you. I will always want to be here with you.
So ultimately, this movie is about choices. Each and every day, even with our smallest actions, we choose between competing philosophies. It's a battle to make the hopeful choice, and honestly, I lose that battle a lot of the time. It's all the more difficult when the world makes us feel like we're experiencing everything, everywhere, all at once. But this story makes the case that it's a battle worth fighting. And on that note, if this is the last post I do on here, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here and supporting me. I appreciate it so much. I am transferring my videos to those other expected apps, as annoying as that is. So you can find them there. My account is the same as this one, it's just my name. But again, thanks for everything, and hopefully I'll see you later.